Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our live show. Karen will be here in a few minutes. I just want to get started. So as we go through this, there's going to be callers. I'm going to answer questions. We're going to talk about some real interesting things. I have some quizzes. You don't want to miss what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about women's health and hormones on keto. We'll talk about the new study that was done on eggs associated with increasing your risk of dying early. You might want to stick around for that. Very interesting. As I've been telling you to consume a lot of eggs over the years. In fact, we buy like 6 dozen eggs a week. Okay, sometimes 7. Go through a lot of eggs. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the only fiber that will lower insulin. So you want to stick around for that as well. So. And anything that I say is not meant to diagnose you with any medical diseases or cure you of any diseases, okay? So that's the medical profession. All I'm doing is giving you information to do research and also increase your health, okay? All right, let's just jump right into the callers. We have quite a few. We're going to go to Lisa. Are you there, Lisa?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am so excited.
Right.
I just want to start off by saying I had a plaque made for you, but I can't seem to get it to you. But I just want to read it real fast. It's very quick.
Okay.
It's a picture of a fireman hat at the top, and it says, "My hero, Dr. Berg, has successfully freed me from being a slave to food and helped save my marriage and family from the destruction of sugar. Forever
Wow.
grateful, a free woman, Lisa Fry." So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's so nice.
Yes. Okay. So I have a 15-year-old daughter,
Yeah.
and we just found out from Children's Hospital that she has an ulcer right outside of the stomach. So we followed their lead, and when we were doing that, the stomach seemed to be getting good at first, and then it started going backwards. So I looked at your advice, took your betaine chloride, whatever it is, and your chlorophyll and all that, and we even. So it was getting. I remember you saying that could be worse if you have a stomach ulcer. But we tested the waters first. Everything seemed to be okay, and so it was actually getting a scab on it on the ulcer. It was actually healing beautifully. And then when we actually said yes, this is an ulcer, they went in. She said, just get off everything you're doing except for your probiotics and take these medicines. Which one of them is to put like a Band-Aid over the ulcer, and the other one is to lower the pH level. Now, that's why I'm calling, because now all of a sudden my daughter's taken a turn for the worse, and she feels like she's got the flu and all these signs of just like gallbladder type, that whole digestive problem. She's always in pain now in that area. She's got headaches and shoulder pains and that whole typical thing. So I'm saying, is it possible, wouldn't it be better if the stomach acids were regular, balanced, to heal this thing?
Yeah, that's kind of a touchy question, but I'm going to give you my 2 cents. Of course, make up your own mind on that. I have a quick question, though. Before she got an ulcer, was she doing the typical kids diet with, I don't know, Happy Meals at fast food
yes.
places?
Listen.
Okay.
Yeah, she was eating absolutely terrible, and she was taking ibuprofen faithfully during the month, if you will. And so they're thinking that's what did it.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Now, I had an ulcer in college. So to get an ulcer, you have to eat pretty poorly for a period of years, and there's oxidation going on. So I think, here's the data. You just introduced something new. I think the medications get worse. There's an anti-acid blocker there. I think that could be going counter. So if it makes it worse, I probably would stick with something more chlorophyll. You can probably do licorice is a good remedy, but the chlorophyll is a good healer. Some of the best foods that probably are going to be good are like the fermented cabbage, like sauerkraut, something like that. But not too much of that. So because sometimes the acidity in there can aggravate it. So I would experiment around. I would try betaine hydrochloride and apple cider vinegar and see if that actually makes her better or worse. Because sometimes it can actually aggravate it as you're healing. But the fact that she had a scab on it means it's in the right direction. But the problem is when you lower the acid, you never fully get that valve at the top of the stomach close because it has certain sensors for pH, and there's a whole feedback loop. So I would just play it by ear, experiment, and see if you can actually get in a state where you can help heal her and then slowly increase the acid, because our bodies are meant, the stomach is meant to have very acidic pH. So when you start to alkalize it, it could prolong the healing. All right. Thanks for calling, Lisa. Zachary, you're calling from Missouri. You had a question about type 1 diabetes and an immune system, right?
Yes, sir. Hi, Dr. Berg.
Hi.
Hey there. So I heard a while back that you mentioned something about on your show about some kind of a supplement that was immune decoy. I wanted to ask about that. Also, issues regarding why type 1 diabetics always have issues with digestive problems. I was wondering, maybe it had to do something with pancreatic enzymes.
Yeah.
And the other thing, one last thing is, do you recommend slippery elm for regulating and helping immune problems?
Can you say that last question again?
Would you recommend slippery elm
Oh,
for
slippery
helping
elm.
autoimmune problems?
Oh, okay. Okay, so a couple questions. I'm going to be doing a video on this shortly, and as far as how the body develops an autoimmune condition, there seems to be this concept of molecular mimicry, which certain viruses have certain proteins that are very similar to our own tissues, and especially when we deal with type 1 diabetes. And then you also have certain things in foods, like certain proteins in foods, like the gluten, for example, has a very similar molecule to the thyroid and to the intestines. So your body, this cross link over into starting developing antibodies towards your own tissues. And then I think there also is a compounded stress involved too that weakens the tolerance to the immune system, and you start developing this. That being said, Dr. Royal Lee did some research long ago. The guy was a genius. You can look him up, on something called PMGs, protomorphogens, and autoimmune. If you take a small extract of a tissue that you have an autoimmune condition against, like for example, let's say for example, you had an extract, pancreatic extract, and you took it in an extract, small amounts. Your body, if you have an autoimmune, the antibodies are going to attack that as a decoy and leave your own tissues alone. And you just take small amounts over a period of time, and you can actually, I've seen some great results with that. So look up autoimmune and protomorphogens, PMGs, for that. And for type 1 diabetes, you would want to take a pancreatic extract. And you can probably get that online, is just take a small amount before you go to bed. The other thing you want to do is your diet should be identical to type 2. Because that way you'll decrease the need for insulin, because you want to just have just the right amount. You don't want to have too much, because that can create complications. And then the other thing is, for the immune system, you want to avoid probably like lectins, anything that could be like weakening the immune system. Lectin foods, I've done videos on that recently. Slippery elm, I don't have a lot of data on if that's going to help your condition or not. But Zach, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. All right, we have Karen in the house.
Wow.
Karen is here. Boom, magically.
Magically.
Yeah.
It took a lot of magic.
It did. And now that you're here,
Yeah.
a mother called in regarding her child has an ulcer, and I mentioned, did she ever have a Happy Meal? And the question for you is, do Happy Meals ever make a kid happy long term, or is it just a short-term happiness?
You know, it really depends on the prize. It's all about the prize. Actually,
Okay.
you could probably make a Happy Meal like celery and dip
Yeah.
if you put a prize inside.
That's
You
know
gotta
what?
put the
I
prize
think that's a new
inside.
trend. You should try it. But I think there's a, I mean, here's the thing, like you go to restaurants with kids,
Yeah.
and the kids' menu, what do you got? Chicken McNuggets,
Nuggets,
chocolate milk.
fries, mac
100
and cheese.
Oh yeah.
Hot dogs.
100% fruit juice. And that brings up the first question, guys, that I'm going to talk about right now, since
Okay.
we're on the topic.
Okay.
And I have a question for everyone. What is worse for you? 100% fruit juice, okay, or soda with high fructose corn syrup. What would be worse for you?
Well, I think this is like the no-brainer because you're asking me and everyone would normally say soda. I'm going to say that the answer is the fruit juice because of the fructose.
Oh, wow. I guess that blows the quiz that I was going to give everyone, but that's fine. You answered 2 questions right off the bat. That's fine. So
But
it's
does
kind
that means I'm really smart?
that means
I mean,
that
am
you're
I
very
right?
smart. You
Was
are
I right?
correct. Yes, you are correct.
See, you can't,
Again,
don't forget
I
to
can't stump you.
note that.
Note to self, Karen.
Karen was
Now you would think it would be the high fructose. You would think it would be the soda, right?
one would think.
One would think
But
that.
I've lived with you for 30 years.
But here's the thing: 100% fruit juice has about 65% fructose, and high fructose corn syrup is only 55% fructose. Now, what's the problem with fructose? Right? It's from fruit. It's natural.
And it bypasses the system and gives you fatty liver. Was that question number 3?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, you answered that question again.
You have to stop putting those tape machines under my pillow at night.
I'm trying to slowly educate you by osmosis, but I'm trying to help people understand why fructose is bad, and you just basically
Told them.
told them. So it's the fructose. Fructose is only metabolized by the liver, so it puts a tremendous amount of stress on the liver, and it's very similar to drinking alcohol as far as liver damage, because you're going to develop a fatty liver, insulin resistance, and
So
it
if you're
creates
going to
a
do
lot of
one or the
problems.
other,
Do a soda. Yeah, but this whole idea of like,
Don't do soda.
I'm doing 100% fruit juice and it's healthy because it's natural. No, it's not. It's not natural because you're refining it. You're pasteurizing it, you're killing it, you're taking the fiber out. So, these kids don't have a chance. They're like doing the Happy Meals and the juice. So I think it's time for another video about I think I'm going to talk about the children's menu and how to get kids, like if you take a child to a restaurant, they're going to demand that they want that Happy Meal or whatever. They're going to, and it's blood sugars, but it really, either you're not going to have to bring them out anymore or you're going to have to educate them, but it's pretty bad.
well, I think it's interesting that the children's menu is just so often junk.
It's
It's like,
totally junk.
I mean, a restaurant could have anything in small portions.
Right.
Or anything. Could have little salads, little soups, little steaks, little anything.
Yeah, but they have chicken nuggets. And I'm going to do a video on what's in a chicken
But
nugget.
it's not just a chicken nugget. It's a chicken nugget with the French fries, with the drink, with the... Why am I getting
With the
applause?
ketchup?
I'm getting applause
ketchup?
again.
Yeah,
With the ketchup.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
incredible.
the whole interesting thing that
The whole package.
mac and cheese,
Yeah.
fried mac and cheese,
Yeah.
hot dog and French fries.
Yeah, and then sometimes parents, well, my child doesn't have a weight problem, so they can do it. Oh, really? Okay, well, good luck on that one. I'm going to go to Christian from Canada.
Okay.
Are you there, Christian?
Hi,
Hi.
thank you. Hi,
Sure.
Karen.
Hey.
Hi, this is the second time calling. I called last week too. So regarding the ketosis sarcoma, thank you for the advice. I'm doing now 22 hours of fasting
Yeah,
with just 2 hours of eating, which is amazing. It's amazing.
great.
Yeah, now on those 2 hours, I'm taking vitamins, antioxidants, I'm eating, I'm trying to do as low as fat as possible. But I have like 2 questions. First of all, in these two, like in the 22 hours window, am I allowed to take any vitamins or coffee? Because we'll stop the fasting in autophagy. And then the second question will be, the biggest thing is we know the cancer is using carbs plus glutamine, and I would like to see exactly, because it's like almost impossible to eat anything glutamine-free or anything inhibitors like the Dr. Seyfried was saying. We
Right.
should suppress and we should stop this one too, because I've been looking like a lot about Dr. Seyfried and what you've been saying. Clearly, I need to stop both things. So I'm
Good
here.
question.
I'm not able to. please.
Okay. Yeah, let me just answer that. The first question is, yes, you can do vitamins. It's not going to affect autophagy. Yes, you can do coffee. Just do one. It's not going to affect autophagy. Okay, that out of the way. For those of you that are not sure what he's talking about, there's a video I did with Dr. Seafree on cancer, and it's really interesting. This guy's doing a lot of research on this, on animal studies, but, you know, I think it does relate to humans as well. But cancer cells live on sugar, and they also live on glutamate, which is an amino acid. So, of course, when you get rid of sugar, you also need to get rid of glutamate. Glutamate is in pretty much every single food that you eat. It's literally impossible to get it out of the diet. Glutamate is not a problem for healthy cells. And even if you don't have cancer, it's not bad to consume glutamate at all. It's actually good. The problem is once you have cancer, then that's why intermittent fasting comes in play, and also a lower calorie diet, just to kind of cut down the amount of glutamate. You'll do much better on that. So I wouldn't worry about cutting out glutamate when you're doing intermittent fasting. The bottom line is if you're doing healthy keto and you're building up your immune system, nutrient-dense foods, and you're doing intermittent fasting, that right there is going to lower your risk from cancer. So that's what I would focus on, and not necessarily don't worry about glutamate unless you do have cancer, in which case there's a glutamine inhibitors. One, for example, is green tea. There's several others, and you can even find maybe some doctors that can help you with that glutamine. It's called DON, which is a glutamine inhibitor. So thanks for your call. All right, good. So let's go right over to you, Karen. What do we have going on over
Okay.
there?
So it's been a while since I've given you a plateau question.
Yes,
We
it
get
has
them,
been 24 hours.
we get them every week, many
Yep.
of them every week. There are many, many videos on that. But do you want to say a few words on plateauing?
Plateau.
Particularly women, this question was a guy saying he and his wife are doing this together, and he's zooming along, which is annoying about men.
Of course.
Of course. And women sometimes go slower or hit a plateau, and so I give you 30 seconds on that. Go.
There's a couple things you can do. I've done a lot of videos on this that you can do to bust through this plateau. Realize what causes that set point that you can't seem to get below. Usually it's you have too much insulin in your body. Okay, too much insulin. So how do you lower that? You drop carbs. Keto is 20 to 50 grams of carbs per day. So go lower, go down to 10. There's a video that I'm going to be releasing soon. It's so stay tuned for that. It's keto and steroids updated, where you actually bring your carbs down to 0. But if you bring the carbs down to 10 grams, you're going to improve that plateau. Okay, now as far as the other thing you can do is you can do a little longer fasts. Some people are doing 2 meals a day. They need to go to 1 meal a day. That's really important. You pretty much roughly do about 1 meal a day. I personally am finding that I'm doing 2 meals, but I found something that's really working for me. I'm doing that within a 4 to 5 hour window. So that's what I'm doing. Seems to work great. Did I eat yet? No. Am I hungry? Absolutely not. But here is what's interesting. If you are hungry, I will guarantee something you ate the day before had too many carbs in it, or you snacked or something, and that's why you're hungry today. So it's what you had before that's affecting you. Other things you can do to bust through that plateau is decrease the amount of fat that you have, forcing your body to burn your own fat, and bring it down to like 75 grams. I'll be releasing a lot more information on this. I do have some videos already to show you what that looks like. So we decrease fat, decrease carbs, and then do some more fasting.
Exercise.
Oh yeah, the thing with the exercise. You can actually add that to the mix. That will also help, for sure.
Lower your stress.
Oh yeah, that's right, Karen.
That's why I'm here.
Remind me.
Help you.
Yeah, the stress is a huge thing. I had this one lady who, no matter what I recommended, she was just like, oh, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. Of course, she's going through that in her mind constantly, 24/7. And she just like, is that certain personality that no matter what, she was fixated on it's not working. So I said, listen, you just need to go for a long walk every single day and change the conversation in your mind and just think that it is working, and I want you to eliminate all stress and stop worrying about it, okay? That was the only time that she lost weight.
Wow.
That's the only time. I said, well, there you go. It's like, because even stress is the worry and the thinking and the thinking and the thinking. It's going to jack up cortisol.
Right.
Okay, good. Next question.
Okay, good. So the cause of arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and how would keto benefit?
Well, there's some interesting causes. I showed you this new book that I got,
Yes.
which is molecular mimicry, which is a fascinating topic.
So we're sitting in the kitchen, and checking the mail, and he's sitting there with this book. This is fascinating. This is so
gold.
fascinating.
It's pure
Like,
gold.
what are you reading? What? What's so cool? It's molecular mimicry. Okay.
It's fascinating.
I'm happy.
I could read that book all day long.
Look, Karen, look what it says. Look at the DNA. Look at this.
What they
And
do,
I'm happy that you're excited about that. Someone has to be.
listen, they basically mapped out the protein codes to viruses and other microbes, and what autoimmune tissues that are being attacked. So there's a huge connection. I mean, I'm like, there it is right there. If you have a specific autoimmune, let's say rheumatoid arthritis, they identified what virus is involved. And so this is like revolutionary, Karen. This is very exciting. Now, as far as what you can do, because it's really viral related, but you also have a combination of stress and I'm talking about like major losses and stuff too, and just huge worries and stuff like that. That can set you up for an autoimmune condition, especially if there's a virus involved and a repeated infection. If you take a look at almost every person that gets sick, there's always like some stress involved right before it. So I've noticed that, and I've observed that, and even autoimmune conditions, there's always a stress event that was part of the trigger. So that's a huge topic. I talk about it, but now what can you do about it? Well, intermittent fasting is the most powerful thing to do because your genes start switching on for repair and anti-inflammatory. So your inflammation just drops right down. And the only other thing that I would do if I had rheumatoid arthritis is I would download the little link that I have recently. It's not even a download, it's just I have a link on one of the videos on lectins. So reduce your foods high in lectins, avoid those, and that will also help because lectins have a lot to do with certain foods that are involved with inflammation. Okay, those are the two things I would do.
Okay. Do I
Are
get
we good?
another?
You got one more.
I got a
You
lot
got one more, and we're going to go to the next topic. After this thing you're going to say,
Yeah.
Karen, we're going to talk about keto, women, and hormones.
Oh, well, that's great because,
Is that one of the questions?
well, you know what? I'm going to put this next question into that bundle of whatever
Okay.
you're going to talk about. And the question was, are hot flashes normal?
Oh, okay.
But not now. You're going to talk about that in your
Okay.
hormonal thing. So I'm going to go to this other question for my question,
Okay.
which is soft tissue injuries. We were talking about this the other night, collagen related soft tissue injuries. So it could be sprains, it could be hernias, things like that. And I'm not talking about, well, I guess it would even include injuries because you're more susceptible to an injury if you have a lower quality.
Yeah.
But you could do something really strenuous that you really had no business doing, right? And that could cause an injury, of course. But, what if you just are sort of susceptible to these things in life? I tend to get this or that, pulls, tears, hernias.
Yeah. So a lot of people have hernias. A lot of people are getting like their tendons are breaking and like for no reason. Now, if you have an injury, of course, that's the reason. But if you have not much force and all of a sudden you're tearing a tendon or you're getting a rip in your abdominal cavity, like what's up with that? I'm going to do a video on that, Karen, a complete one, but just to give you the short answer, there's some interesting data on why those injuries are occurring, especially as you're getting into your 20s and 30s, actually no, 40s and 50s and 60s.
My 20s. I'm in my 20s.
Right. What you have is the term is glycation. And what is glycation? Gly meaning sugar. When a sugar molecule attaches to an amino acid or a protein or some other thing, you start to create a situation where you have glycated proteins. And these proteins are then unusable. The collagen is unusable. So if you have, let's say, for example, if your blood sugars are too high, one of the ways they diagnose it was with an A1C. And what happens is you have high sugar, it attaches to the hemoglobin, the protein in the blood, and then that basically they can measure that on a scale, and they can tell you if you have high sugar on average over 3 months. It's not actually measuring your blood sugars directly, it's measuring the effect of glycated proteins or proteins connected to sugar. So the damage from high sugar on proteins is very, very interesting because it creates all sorts of conditions with your lens of the eye, the retina of the eye, the circulation of the eye. That's why diabetes has so many problems with the eye, with the cardiovascular system, with the heart, with the tissues in the kidney, with the brain, the neurons, and also the nerves in it's called the peripheral nervous system. And usually it starts affecting the end nerves on the toes and the fingers, mainly the toes first. And that's why shorter people have more problems with neuropathies from diabetes than taller people, because it takes, they get it faster. Because you're dealing with the circulation, you're dealing with these sticky proteins, and the protein becomes unavailable to you. So if you have, for example, too much glycated protein in your abdomen, for example, and the tissues become unavailable, you start getting weak, brittle, stiff proteins, you start ripping.
Okay, I was wanting you to come full circle there, back to
I came right back because I saw that.
Okay. Okay, so basically, a high sugar diet, or if you're insulin resistant, your body's connective tissue will be of poor quality.
Yeah.
Or a lower
Proteins.
integrity.
Right, not to mention everything else. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
and one more point about that, and then I'll shut up. If you start really seeing some damage when you have like 10 years of high sugar. So that's why it's really important to keep your sugar down. Now the cool thing is that you can reverse a lot of these conditions, the complexities or complications of diabetes if you bring your sugars down. Some tissues very quickly, other tissues, the nervous system takes longer, takes years, because your nerves grow at like 1 millimeter a day. So if you get your sugars down, you can reverse a lot of this damage. Okay, that's a note to self.
Okay, good.
All right,
That's
good.
great.
Now can we switch over to my topic on women and keto?
Yes, as long as you bring up our hot flashes normal.
Okay, so hot flash is not normal. It is not normal, and it only occurs if there's a situation of imbalance in hormones. Okay?
Then why do so many people, you can read a book, you can talk to people, and it's like, oh, it's normal. Now
Is disease normal?
I will say,
Is cancer normal?
I never had hot flashes. I never had a hot flash. I went through menopause, I guess. I never had a single symptom.
Right.
Okay, but it's so prevalent that women assume that it's normal and that there's little to nothing that you can do about it.
I think if everyone has it, it's normal.
Right.
So, everyone has diabetes, it's normal. It's like, what's your definition of normal? You're not supposed to get hot flashes. It's a symptom that's unnecessary. But that being said, let's go into the topic because there's some people out there, I'm not going to mention names.
Some, like 3?
So-called experts that are basically saying don't do keto because, if you're a woman, because it's bad for women, because it's dangerous
Oh, they
for
have
women.
everything. Are we going to,
Yeah,
I'll get on a podium if you
We'll talk
start
about
that
it.
conversation.
But here's the thing, really, so we should stay in a high carbohydrate diet and just ride the wave because ketones for some reason, low carb is going to damage the hormones. This is such a myth. First of all, when you lower your insulin, okay, that's what keto is about, lowering your insulin, you instantly increase all 6 fat-burning hormones, okay? Thyroid, growth hormone, testosterone, glucagon, these are all hormones that burn fat. So right there, it tells you that it's a good thing. Number 2, you take all the stress off the pancreas because you're not pumping all this insulin out, so you improve the gland itself. Ketones are super healthy and therapeutic for your brain, and guess what's in your brain? You have what? Look at that? Okay. I was just looking at your finger there. So ketones are really good for the brain, and guess what's in your brain? The hypothalamus. That's his endocrine gland. And the pituitary.
Not what I was going to say, but I'm glad that you...
Yeah, so you're really helping your hormones on a massive level. PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, that's too much estrogen, too much androgen. You decrease estrogen, you decrease androgen, male hormones. So you balance out your hormones. You no longer have a beard.
Why
You're a
would they
woman.
say that then? Why would they?
Well, if you really want to know...
No, we have to be nice.
No, I'll be nice. Because there are certain companies that are going to lose money if everyone does keto. One being if you're selling sugar or refined carbs. I mean...
Or medication.
Yeah, so there's a huge industry that revolves around that. Okay, so anyway.
That's all we're going to say.
About. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all we're going to say about that.
That's all I'm going to say,
Because,
Karen.
sometimes people need to have medication.
That's right.
Right.
Okay, so are there any other reasons? Well, yeah, there's the last thing I'm going to say is that, what? Look down. Okay. Scoot over to Karen. Okay. Okay, so there's one more point. When you actually increase your cholesterol in your diet, cholesterol is a precursor, it's a building block, it's food for your hormones. Okay, the hormones need fat to survive. So by going a low-fat diet, you instantly lower the food for the hormones. And the last thing, and then we'll move on, is that when you actually have high cholesterol and high fat, you increase more bile, you convert T4 to T3, instantly improving the thyroid. The only problem that people are going to run into is that if they do a keto diet unhealthily, or they go into intermittent fasting maybe too quick, and they don't graduate slowly and nicely ease into it. Okay, I'm done. We need to go to Ryan. He's been waiting patiently. Ryan, are you there from Philadelphia?
No? Ryan?
Yes, yes, I am. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, Ryan.
Hey.
I'm doing great, thanks.
Oh, thanks for having me. I just wanted to call in just about 3 months ago, I stumbled across your video looking for, to better enhance my life, weight loss. I've been struggling for a while, and again, I found your videos, and it was amazing. I took the necessary steps to do better. And again, I've been on it for about the keto and intermittent fasting for 3 months, and I'm down 55 pounds right now.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Wow, that's great.
55 pounds. That's awesome.
Yeah, 50. It's crazy to say it out loud and to actually, talk to somebody that helped me get to this point. So again, I just really wanted to appreciate both of you guys for your time and wisdom that you've given upon me to. It's the greatest 3 months I've had in my life, and
Wow.
I'm continuing losing weight, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Wow.
So again,
Ryan.
I just wanted to say thank you and really, really appreciate everything that you guys have done.
Thank you, Ryan. And
Yeah.
this is why we do this show, put the videos out. This is why we do it, because I love to get those. We love to get those results, and it's just fascinating.
And well done to you for implementing everything, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So you can lay out all the information in the world, but it takes that person to do it, and that's really well done.
Well, there's one thing about, you ever try to help someone, they don't let you help them?
Yes.
Boy, it drives you crazy. But these people that let you help them, that's really enjoyable. Even like you have relatives that never take your advice, but when people actually take your advice, it's wonderful. So I appreciate that, Ryan. Awesome. All right, Karen.
Yeah.
I want to go to Margie from Pennsylvania. She's
Yeah.
been waiting patiently. Are you there, Margie?
Hi, how are you?
Great.
The motherland. Where in Pennsylvania are you from?
Edwardsville.
Okay, I don't know where that
It's
is.
near Wilkes-Barre.
Oh, okay. I'm from Allentown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Close
you
to
go.
Kutztown.
That's the bonding.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay. The question I had was a couple of little questions. The first one was about digestive enzymes. Do you take them with every meal or just one with the biggest with dinner?
Okay, good question.
And the second question was about magnesium stearate.
Yeah.
That's it.
So there's the magnesium stearate that I believe is okay to take as the vegetarian version of that. So I don't have a problem with the vegetarian version of magnesium stearate. Okay, as far as digestive enzymes, a lot of people take them. I think that they're great for to take with the bigger meals. Are there any side effects? No. But there will be a point where you won't need the enzymes anymore because your own body is producing its own enzymes. The enzymes are, you produce the protein, the real strong protein enzyme in your stomach, and then also in the pancreas, you have all these enzymes that come out. But if you have a history of insulin resistance or a lot of insulin problems, the pancreas is going to be tired. It's not going to put out as many enzymes. So over time, it can come back. But for my recommendation to you is I would take them with the bigger meal or take them with meals. I think it's going to help you. But also make sure you're taking an acidifier with that, because when you take an acid in your stomach, what the acid does is it activates the protease. It activates the hormone in your stomach. Several hormones, by the way. So without that acid, you can't release the enzyme. So anyway, just want to make that one point. Thanks, Margie. Sandy, you're from Pennsylvania as well. You had a question about the keto diet. Go ahead.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Okay, so here's the deal. I started reading about keto, and I'm 49 years old, about to turn 50 next week.
Mm-hmm.
And I started reading about keto. I've always been into health and was doing a different diet program where you did do carbs, but you separated the carbs and the fats, and the main thing was protein. But anyway, so I was trying to kind of transition into keto. And honestly, my whole goal with keto is to just all of the health benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I want to balance my hormones. I'm getting ready to go into menopause. I want that to go well.
Yeah.
I want to sleep better. I want all of those things. My brain, because I feel like, I just am not thinking, sharply. I want all of that. I am 5'3". I weigh probably at this point, about 111 pounds. I would like to stay right around 110 pounds. I like that. I feel good there. So I didn't want this to be about weight for me. So I've tried really hard to kind of stay away from the scales because I'm type A, and I can just really, throw myself it wouldn't be good if I get on and I gain.
Right.
So anyway, okay. So I started, and here's the thing. I have watched, this because this is the personality I am. So I'm watching your videos. I'm finding all these other videos. I'm watching and listening and reading and trying to put it all together. And okay, so I started on February 4th. I definitely went through some keto flu signs, and I could tell, again, I wasn't getting on the scales, but I'm sure that I lost water weight because I could tell that I lost some weight.
And what was your quick question?
Just by looking in the mirror.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was your quick question?
And then, yes, so I wasn't sleeping well. So my question is, I'm still, okay, so I'm about, how many weeks into this now? That was February 4th. So I'm getting ready to get to 7 weeks on Monday.
Okay.
And I just feel like I'm definitely not fat adapted. I have times where I feel really good and think, oh yeah, okay, maybe I'm getting fat adapted because I'm not starving, and I still haven't ever really felt that mental clarity and sharpness and stuff.
Okay.
But I just am still struggling. Like
Yeah.
I feel like today I woke up, my mouth is very dry. I'm very hungry. I haven't eaten yet, and I'm trying to wait. I just don't.
So Sandy, what I'm going to recommend, here's one of the problems that people run into is when you start watching all the different videos, you may get some conflicting data on the type of keto that you should do. I'm not biased, but I recommend this book, okay, and this book right here. No bias there, but I talk about healthy keto, okay, which is a version of keto that has been tested with a lot of people. I'm talking tens of thousands of people. So there's a way to do it healthily so you can maximize the benefit. And I looked at every angle, so I would stick with one person and study that system, because if you've done this 7 weeks and you're still kind of struggling, there's something not quite right. And I don't have time to go into all the details, but you just need to find out what it is and do it. I would highly recommend, just as a side note, adding the B vitamins from nutritional yeast in a good electrolyte powder. I think that's going to help you as well. But get my book, find out how to do it correctly, and you should start seeing
Stick to
results pretty quick.
Yeah.
But don't start mixing a bunch of different types, because then you're like, well, I don't know what worked.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandy, and I'm excited to see your results
I have a
or
question.
hear about your results. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, good. So this was an interesting question. Are thin people already keto adapted?
Oh, absolutely not. Just because you're thin does not mean you're keto adapted. You have a lot of people, even diabetics type 1, you have a lot of sick people that are just living on carbs and they're not running on ketones. Now they're running on their blood sugars. They have a lot of issues with that, but that doesn't mean it has nothing to do with it.
And then why are they thin?
Well, because their metabolism is a lot higher, and there are genetics involved with this as well. Like some people are very thin and they can pretty much eat like a horse. They can eat whatever they want and they just don't gain weight no matter what.
That's
Eventually
annoying.
start developing a lot of health problems.
Right,
but
Laura?
in their mind, they may think I'm healthy because I don't have a weight problem. So yes, and the same thing with men and women. You have different amounts of estrogen which affect the metabolism. So men typically are thinner generally, and they have a faster metabolism.
So annoying.
It's annoying, but
What do you know about it?
oh, I know a lot.
Oh, you hear
I
a
know
lot. You hear
I
a lot about it.
this.
I
Yeah.
have women writing to me all the time. My husband's losing faster than me.
I know, it's frustrating.
It is frustrating, but you know what?
What?
It works.
Yeah.
You give it the time and you do it right and you keep tweaking it and tweaking it.
Yeah, but see, women get to have babies, men don't.
Oh,
See, got you in that one.
not
got you in
even
that one.
sure how to respond to that one.
So they have to have a different set of hormones, and
Right,
so it comes with a package, Karen.
right. Hey, I have another interesting question before
Yeah?
you jump
Go
there.
ahead.
Yeah, Corey, who's on Facebook this morning, he says, I think it's a she has one kidney and one adrenal.
Okay.
Okay? Now, what would you recommend on that?
Find where the other kidney and adrenal went and get another one replaced and get it inserted in there. No, you can't. Your body will adapt.
Well, you could get another kidney. You could get
You
another
could,
kidney.
but you can live comfortably on one kidney. The kidney will adapt, and so will the adrenal. It will come back, and it's not gonna. Your body will just adapt. It'll just grow twice as big, and then you'll be fine. I wouldn't worry about
Seriously?
it. Yeah.
Wow. And then would you just do normal keto?
Yes.
Healthy keto?
Yep.
Okay.
No,
There you
no
go, Corey.
changes. Thank goodness we were born with an extra kidney and adrenal. So we.
Right. Extra thyroid, an extra uterus, and an extra
Well,
gallbladder,
No, we don't have two of those.
and an extra appendix.
Karen, I think it's time to ask a question. Okay, we have two more things we're going to talk about.
Okay.
One is this quiz, okay, that we're going to ask everyone, and then there's something else we're going to talk about a little bit later about the whole study with eggs that I want to get into. Okay,
the
a study
egg
that just found
conversation.
out that eggs may be associated with decreased lifespan. So don't leave because I want to talk about
Okay.
that. But before we talk about that, I want to bring up this one quiz. I'm going to quiz everyone, and don't you answer it because you know the answer. What is the only fiber Guys,
I'm listening.
I am just so ridiculously losing it today.
Corey said thank you, so I was just sending a you're welcome.
No, I screwed it up. I screwed it up again.
Oh, you're screwed. I thought you were.
Yeah.
I thought you were noting that I
No,
was
I
not
screwed
paying
it up.
attention. I was paying attention
I was
to Corey.
reading something as I was thinking something else. Okay.
Okay,
The
so
question is, what's the only carbohydrate that won't increase your insulin? And I just gave it away.
oh, I wasn't listening.
Oh, good. Then I'll quiz you. Because
I
everyone
wasn't
else
paying
knows.
attention.
Everyone else knows.
Oh, guys, come on, tell me the answer.
Okay, Karen, tell
Okay.
me, what's the only carbohydrate that will not increase insulin? It decreases insulin. Don't look at the answers that people are giving you. What?
Fiber?
You looked.
I know. Petra
You
told
looked.
me.
Thanst, guys.
Petra.
Thanks, I appreciate that you gave her the answer. Because I said, what's the only
Petra's
fiber
got my
that
back.
won't... Okay,
Oh,
fiber.
everybody on YouTube.
Well, you guys are smart. How did you get that answer?
Facebook.
I think I
Thank
just
you,
gave
guys.
it to
I
them
love you.
on a silver platter. Okay, so anyway,
I got
ruined
some
that
friends over here. These are my people here.
These are your peeps. Well,
These
let me
are my
just.
people.
Okay, let me tell you why it won't. Okay, so fiber is a carbohydrate, but it's eaten by our microbes. We can't eat it. Our microbes eat it, and they turn it into fat.
That's
A
not
short
good.
chain. No, it's a good thing. It's a
Oh.
short chain fatty acid called butyrate, which is a type of fat that's in butter
I thought so.
that will help your blood sugars. It improves insulin resistance and will lower insulin. It also will decrease your risk of colon cancer. It feeds the colon cells fuel for energy. It's the main fuel that they need. It's from fiber, a carbohydrate. Go figure.
So give me examples.
Well, when you eat salad,
Yeah.
you're actually giving your colon cells food so they can give you the healthy fat that you need to help fix your blood sugars. This is another indirect relationship to fat and blood sugars and insulin and things that can help you if you're a pre-diabetic, which chances are you are, and you have insulin resistance. This is one of the reasons why I recommend having some salad.
Okay.
What? Why are you laughing?
No, I'm not.
You're laughing with me? Okay, good.
I just want to show you something. See
What?
the two of us on that screen?
Yeah.
Then look there.
What?
Look over there.
Oh,
Anytime
the
you
camera?
see the two of us,
Oh,
you got to
I was-
look over there.
Okay, I got
When
it.
you're the only one, then you look over there. See?
Over here? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Over
I
here.
got no, over there.
Okay.
Over-
All right, thank you. Guys, I have, if you like that information, I have some more for you. Stay tuned.
We're just getting started.
Yeah, but I need to go to Bernie. She's from Michigan, or he, I'm not
Or
sure.
he or she.
Bernie, are you there?
Yes, I am.
That's
Hi.
a girl.
Yes.
Hello?
Hi,
Hi.
Bernie.
And I am a female.
That's right.
Yep, I found that out. So you had a question about, you're stalling with fasting, right?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I am. I've done it for, I've been on intermittent fasting on and off for the last 2 years. I kind of went off of it last year. Got back on it because my blood sugar is always over 200, close to 300. But when I started the intermittent fasting again a couple of weeks ago, I lost 11 pounds and I got my blood sugar down to 106, which was great for me because I've never had it that low.
Wow.
But now I have not lost any more weight. I've lost 11 pounds. I haven't lost any more weight. And now my blood sugar is starting to elevate again.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that.
Yeah, okay. So are you also doing healthy keto, or are you just doing intermittent fasting?
I'm just doing the intermittent fasting and 1 meal a day.
Okay. So in that 1 meal a day, what are you eating?
Usually salad with either tuna or chicken and a lot of water. And that's usually it because I'm not hungry anymore.
Right.
And so I really have to force myself to eat,
Yeah.
you know, and I find that amazing that I can go 48 hours without eating because I'm not hungry. But it's the other things that are, causing me some worry as to why my blood sugar is rising and why I'm not losing any more weight.
So I have a question for you. Are you watching the internet right now?
No.
Okay,
I'm
that's
not.
fine. That's fine. You don't have to. I'm going to read something to you, okay? I want to ask you if you've ever heard this concept. It's not lose weight to get healthy, it's get healthy to lose weight. Have you ever heard that before?
Yes, and that's exactly what I've been doing. I'm not worried about the weight.
Okay.
I want to get my blood sugar down. I want to
Yeah.
get healthy that way.
Yeah. And so here's the point that I want to bring up. I think with you, you've just now started back on this thing. It's going to take some time. In the process of getting healthy, it might not, your blood sugars might not go perfect consistently right off the bat. You might notice some other improvements because your body has to kind of get healthy. I would focus not just on intermittent fasting. I would do a healthy version of keto based on my book and start doing both of them at the same time. I think that's going to start to get your body healthy to the point where you're now consistently keeping your blood sugars down. That's all that you're missing. But I will say, based on your age and how long you haven't done this correctly, it could take months and months before you start seeing some consistent change. But the fact that it got better temporarily means that there's hope, but you just have to give it more time. Reevaluate what you eat, though, to make sure it's the healthy version. Thanks, Bernie. I'm glad that you called, because that's a really good point. All right, so now we're going to go to Denise from Kentucky. Are you there?
Yes. Hi, Dr. Berg.
Hi.
Thank you for taking my phone call.
Sure.
I appreciate it. I have been following your advice and doing keto and intermittent fasting since January. I was over 400 pounds. I've lost 60 pounds
Wow.
at that time. However, I did really good for the first month, but now I'm having severe problems with gout and with severe nausea and an increase in smell.
Okay. So a couple things that I would do, and are you happen to do any B vitamins or through nutritional yeast or electrolytes? Are you doing those two things?
No, I have not done that yet. No.
So you might want to get a good electrolyte powder. I'm not biased, but I have one. You can get mine. And also nutritional yeast. And the reason for that is because you are doing prolonged fasting. One of the things that's interesting about that is that your uric acid will go up, because one of the purposes of uric acid is it acts as an antioxidant. Your body is kind of using that for that purpose. And if you're susceptible to gout, it could flare up a gout thing. So it's real simple. You take potassium citrate, it's going to alkalize you, and those symptoms will chill out because it lowers the uric acid. So the combination of certain B vitamins in the nutritional yeast, like B6, and the potassium, and we have a lot of potassium in the electrolytes, it's like 1,000 milligrams of potassium citrate, that will it'll actually drop the acidity, increasing the pH, and that's how you take the uric acid edge off, because it's really just about changing the pH of the urine just slightly, and you'll be fine. Other than that, make sure you don't overdo it with the protein, and drink a little bit more water, and add the lemon juice. Okay, Denise, thanks for your call. Karen.
Yes.
Is it time to talk about something? That thing I told you about?
Well, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Couple. You can answer it quickly.
Okay. Or spend a long time.
Or spend a long time. It's your show.
Okay. It's my rodeo.
It's your rodeo.
Okay.
Okay, so very important health-related question. Monica on YouTube asks, do you ever lose your cool?
Never. Ever. Ever in a million years. Maybe occasionally on purpose, just to create an effect, but no. Right?
No, you don't lose your cool.
I don't lose my cool too often.
He's pretty much like this.
I'm kind of like this all the time.
But
Yeah.
funny. Very funny.
I'm very
he's
funny.
Actually very, very funny.
I do plenty of things to make the doctor mad, and he's
Our
never
producer
yelled at me.
tests
No,
him
I just-
all the time, and he's never thrown anything.
No, never in a million years.
No.
Um,
But there's a health-related question, too.
Well, can we first talk about the Keto Summit that's coming up?
That was the next thing I was going to talk about.
Okay.
Someone said, what is a Keto Summit? So I thought, wow, we really have to mention that.
Oh my gosh, you
It's
guys!
the coolest thing
You guys
of
need
the year.
to come. In fact, it's a mandatory meeting.
We're taking
It's a
roll
summit.
call.
Yeah, you guys got to come.
All of you, I've made a note here of all of your names and your
August
CB handles.
August 29th, September 1st. We're going to have a blast, amazing speakers.
Gaylord Hotel.
Yeah, register
National
now
Harbor, Maryland.
Because once we hit our maximum, like last year, we
Sold out.
closed out. So
Right.
this time,
We
you
have a
don't
bigger
want to.
room.
Yeah, so you want to sign up now and just secure your spot. We're going to have a blast, and I can't wait to meet you guys.
Yeah. You go to drberg.com and you can find out
Yeah, go
all
to
about it.
Right on the shopping cart, and you'll see
Go
Keto
to the
Summit.
shopping
There's
cart.
a button.
Yeah, or go to YouTube, Dr. Berg Keto Summit. There's a video.
Mm-hmm.
You'll learn all about it. You definitely need to come. It's
Yes.
a great time of year. It's already a holiday weekend.
Dr. McCullough is going to be there, Thomas DeLauer, 2 cardiologists, Dr. Westman, Ivor Cummings. Jacqueline Eberstein's going to be there, Megan Ramos, and another naturopathic doctor talking about PCOS and infertility. We're going to have a blast.
Yeah,
And,
it's going to be
you don't want to miss
awesome,
that. I'm telling you right now.
Awesome time. It was such an incredible
fun.
event last year. It was like a big love fest.
Yeah,
Because
great
people on
people.
keto are so nice.
They're so
They're
awesome.
so much fun.
But I need to talk about something.
Okay.
These eggs. I know you've been waiting here, so I want it patiently. So let's talk about eggs.
The eggs.
So unfortunately, guys, there was a study done that showed that there's association with increased risk of heart attack by eating eggs. And I'm sorry to tell you that if you do 2 to 3 eggs per week, there's a great, huge association. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really nervous. I'm shaking in my boots. So I don't want to die early. What do? Because we actually buy, how many dozen eggs do we go through a week?
7.
7 dozen, not 7 eggs. So, of course, we have 8 kids at home. No, we don't. We don't. We just have like 2 other people and my son
Lucy.
and his daughter, and Lucy does not eat eggs. But I eat like 4 to 5 eggs a day. 45 eggs, no, 4 to 5. Okay, so guys, so here's the truth of the matter. This study wasn't even a study. It was a joke. And it was, and I will release the video tomorrow on it. But here's the deal: it was based on a questionnaire, on one visit, asking questions that are ridiculous in your past that you're not going to remember anyway. And
Multiple choice.
Yeah, and also like you're going to actually, you have so many variables, and you're going to pick eggs out of everything. Why couldn't you have said, mushrooms? I mean, it's ridiculous. So it's a complete and utter joke. It was funded by the American Heart Association. Okay, not that that mattered or was biased, but anyway, that it was kind of like everything was association. It wasn't a cause. So, like for example, this pen is associated with
Your hand.
my hand. Does it mean that it put a hole through it? No, it's just associated. It doesn't mean anything. So it's complete and utter
Bunk.
bunk.
It's bunk.
Yeah, so in fact, the
summary.
truth is the eggs will lower your cholesterol, but they'll increase the good cholesterol. Eggs have lecithin, it's the antidote. It has choline, which helps dissolve a fatty liver. I'm telling you, eggs are really important. And one last thing.
Well,
I have
okay.
to say
Say it.
your body makes cholesterol.
Yes.
It makes
More
3,000.
cholesterol than you eat.
They're talking like 300 milligrams of cholesterol is going to increase your bad cholesterol and decrease your lifespan. No, your body makes 3,000. That's equivalent to 14 eggs a day. Like, come on. Your body makes cholesterol. Lots. So, okay, I'm done with that topic. Go ahead, Karen.
That was exciting. That was like.
I was getting a little heated on that. What did that lady say?
What does this mean?
I was losing my cool.
Oh, you lost your cool right
On
there,
that one.
folks. You saw it.
Yeah.
Lost the cool. What? I was going to say, honey, Dr. Berg,
Yes?
what is this? What does this mean? What do you think this means?
Means that we're
What do
running
you
out of
think this
time, and I
means?
got to go to Mark.
Because Steve's back there.
Hey, Mark, you're from California. You had a question. You had a question about your wife, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
So, super grateful for you and all your scenes work. So, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I did have a question about my wife. She is 46.
Okay.
We were told she went through menopause about 8 to 9 years ago. 7 years ago, she had kidney cancer, so she had a partial erectophy where they took a little piece of her kidney out.
Yeah.
And praise God, we've been cancer-free since then. She's been diagnosed with hyperthyroid, and we've been dealing with pain on her right side for probably about 5 to 6 years. And I noticed on your last video you said so I'm thinking gallbladder, and I bought the gallbladder formula for her, but the last video, or a video you recently did on the hyperthyroid, said not to take the gallbladder formula for her. So I'm just asking for help on which direction to go with her.
Yeah. When you have a hyperthyroid, that's one condition you don't want more iodine, okay? So you don't want to give her C-Calp, and you don't want to do the gallbladder because the gallbladder converts T4 to T3, so she already has too many thyroid hormones, so we don't want to like increase that more. So hold off with the gallbladder formula. Cruciferous is what you want to recommend because cruciferous can help to handle that. But I did talk about the mechanism of hyperthyroid, but again, look at it like if it's autoimmune, look at it like an immune problem. Avoid certain foods high in lectins for that. I would recommend that. And I would, for all these conditions, guys, including this one, make sure that she gets the basics in, healthy keto and intermittent fasting, because you're going to find out, instead of trying to treat a disease or a condition, if you get in the basic thing, a basic eating pattern, you may find that things improve greatly without having to treat a symptom or a disease. Okay, I think that's really important. But thank you, Mark, for calling. We gotta run because it's past 12.
We do gotta run, but I do want to say for everybody, because there's still a lot of questions coming in all the time. There's obviously we don't get to most of the questions on here, but go to YouTube, Dr. Berg channel on YouTube. The vast majority of these questions are taken up. Dr. Berg has videos on these. There's a lot of help for you on YouTube. You can also go to drberg.com and watch the videos right on the website. And there's just all your questions can get answered there.
And also, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, subscribe, because I'm going to be, you'll get a feed from me if you actually on the feed. I'm going to be doing a lot of live shows starting today on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and
Twitter?
No.
Do we tweet? We don't tweet.
A little bit we tweet.
We tweet?
But the point is that watch your feeds, because I will be doing these randomly through the day.
Also the membership site. I just want to put a shout out.
I thought you said
drberg.com, but I didn't mention on there's a membership site, and it has information that is not available anywhere else, and it has videos that's not available anywhere else. And our daughter actually works on that site, and she just recently said, you guys, this is crazy, the positive feedback that these guys that are members of the membership site are giving. It's just nuts. So that's another tool for you.
Yeah, and you can just try it out for 7 days and just see if you like it. Yeah, so.
And someone asked on here, was there a keto coaching course? There's absolutely a keto coaching course. Go to the website and check it out. There's so many tools available.
If you like helping people, you should be a keto coach, and I have a training program on that. It's on the site. It's a really great program, and I have quite a few people doing that now because they like to help people, and I basically teach you how to teach people to get healthy.
Right, but people also use it just for themselves.
Yeah, they do.
Moms get trained for their family. There's church members that get trained so that they can help the members of their church or their group or work. It's just that drberg.com is chock full of resources. So you have to, if you still have a lot of questions, you got to get the book and go on that site. It's all there for you.
Yeah, if you like helping people.
The end.
All right, guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Okay.